describe it. Took my tongue and tied it, sent my heart over the moon. It come fly away with me. Imagine all the things that we could see. Yeah, don't you know that life's a dance? Come take my hand and fly away with me. Make my heart race in a hurry, lose my every worry, every second I'm with you. We'll turn all the pages, check off all the places, every day is something new. Don't that sky look blue? Yeah. It come fly away with me. Imagine all the things that we could see. Yeah, don't you know that life's a dance? Come take my hand and fly away with me. You're my sunshine every morning, light up every moment, make my every dream come true. Oh, I can't describe it. Took my tongue and tied it, sent my heart over the moon. It come fly away with me. Imagine all the things that we could see. Yeah, don't you know that life's a dance? Come take my hand and fly away with me. Imagine all the things that we could see. Yeah, don't you know that life's a dance? Let's not miss our chance. Come fly away with me.
Good job.
Go, run. Keep going. A little bit of power now.
You're my sunshine every morning, light up every moment, make my every dream come true. Oh, I can't describe it. Took my tongue and tied it, sent my heart over the moon. It come fly away with me. Imagine all the things that we could see. Yeah, don't you know that life's a dance? Come take my hand and fly away with me.
Gets me every time.
No kidding. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yeah.
How about you, HBS? How are you?
I'm good. Had a fun flight last night.
I heard. Tell me about it.
Did a little cross country to the Strategic Air Command Museum near Omaha, and outside of there, they've got like an Atlas V missile and a few other things displayed. So I went and buzzed that, came back, and almost broke my 360 camera foot dragon. Just bent the heck out of it, and then I botched my first landing since February. It was a hoot. I loved it. We flew with like 9 people in 2 hot air balloons.
Nice. Did you get video of the hot air balloons?
Oh, you know me. I got video of everything.
Sweet. Can't wait for that video to come out. Okay, so I am back at the airport, Tomahawk Regional Airport. Eric is doing 2 tandems with some locals that did not get a chance to go up this weekend. They came out Saturday morning during the pancake feed just after we had got all down from flying, or everyone except me got down from flying. And they contacted him yesterday, so he's out there, and Karen just got down. She rushed in here. Deweese had to go get Savannah, Eric's daughter, from cheer. So she's just logging in now. And Randy's out there helping Eric, and Steve is still flying through the air. So we're going to say hi to, Deweese was in here, but she's not in here anymore. We'll bring Deweese in when we can, but we're going to start with Karen Upp. She is still here in Tomahawk. I don't want her to leave. How are you, Karen? You're on mute. Hang on,
Okay.
You're on mute. There you go.
Okay. Oh, there's Deweese.
Yep. Hi, Deweese.
Hi. Hi,
All right,
Where'd you
Karen.
get that
So
piano?
tell us what you've been up to.
What?
Tell us what you've been up to.
Well, I just got down. I ran up, just did a quick 10, 15-minute flight and came down and put my stuff away really quick and came racing in here. So a little out of breath. So I can't hear you. I think you are muted.
Sorry.
you go.
Yeah, I was. So how was the flight? You said it was a tad bit bumpy.
Yeah, it was a little bumpy, but it was tolerable, which is good for me to get my bump tolerance up a little, because usually when it gets bumpy, I turn around and head for landing. So this was good. It forced me to stay up for a little while. I stayed up my 10 or 15 minutes and then came down. So
Yeah, you kind of fly like me, 10 or 15, and I'm good. So you're a foot launcher, right?
I am. Yep. I've never tried, so I've only done foot launch.
Uh-oh.
Are we?
Say that part again.
What? Oh, are we?
Yeah,
We're off.
lagging, I think.
Same one. Should one of us switch over to the Wi-Fi at the airport?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
Try that.
Okay. So just tell them what you fly and how long you've been flying. Actually start out where you learned.
Okay. I started at Aviator, March of 2021. My husband really wanted to fly. I didn't really want to fly, but he wouldn't do it without me. So I told him, fine, if we found some good training, it would either be an adventure holiday and we'd walk away and not do it, or if I ended up liking it, we would buy the equipment and proceed forward with it. So after my first flight, turned out I liked it. I thought I could do it. And so we bought the equipment and we've been traveling around flying ever since. So Jade is still gone. So what do I fly? I fly, what did she ask me what I fly, right? I fly Flyplex Rider, the Rider Thrust, I think it's called. It breaks down really well. We are full-time RVers, so it has to fit in the back of our truck. And so that was pretty much our decision to choose that one because it broke down the easiest and fastest for us. And so that's what I fly.
What kind of motor do you have on it?
Oh, an Atom 80.
Atom 80?
So,
okay.
Yeah, everyone keeps telling me I should go up to the Moster for more thrust, but I like my Atom 80. So I'm
Hey, if you like it, there's nothing wrong with it. So I thought that was interesting. You said that your husband was really into it. You sort of weren't, and you kind of got pushed into it. I trained about the same time you did, and I took my little brother with me, and he didn't know anything about PPG. He just wanted to hang out with me, and he ended up being the best in the class. He doesn't fly anymore, but I'm curious because your husband was the driver for it, and you necessarily didn't want to get into it. How was your feelings like learning it and actually doing it for the first time? Like what was going on in your head?
You know, I've mentioned this now multiple times, especially at the fly-in. I think Aviator did a fantastic job of preparing me. While I never really wanted to fly, in fact, the first question they asked was, why are you here? Why do you want to fly? And my answer was, yeah, I really don't want to fly. I'm here because my husband wants me to be here, but I really like adventure. So for me, it was like, well, okay, this is just going to be a new adventure, and either I can do it and be confident in it, or I won't. And I feel like Aviator did a fantastic job of breaking down all the barriers that I was like fearful of. It was like before we even started flying, I feel like the pattern they followed was exactly what I needed to just feel comfortable. And by time, my toes were done and we were doing, taxi practice and then I was supposed to fly, and I was ready to go at that point when they said, yep, you're going. I was like, oh, all right, I'll do it. And my first flight, I came down, felt confident, didn't have the fears that I thought I would have. I'm not really afraid of heights, so it wasn't, so it worked out. And yeah. And it was pretty much the second or third flight. Then, we were already talking about, we had to start organizing, buying the gear because we're full-time RVers, it's hard to get things shipped. So we were working with Aviator almost immediately of how to get equipment right away. And so before we left, so that's kind of what we did.
So you had an experience where to you, it felt like it was structured to your needs and you just like, learn this makes sense. I'm going to do it. Everything fits in where it should be.
Yeah, and it felt.
I wish that worked that way for everybody.
Yeah, for me, it was exactly what I needed. I don't know if the whole 2-week training is needed for everybody, but it was definitely needed for me. And I'd say my husband too. I mean, both of us, by the time we left, we were feeling kind of confident. But I'm glad I had 2 full weeks of training and someone there with me, hand holding me. So.
And what's your overall feelings about it like now? Is this something that you have a Jones to do often? Like if you haven't flown for a while, does it feel natural to you? Like what's your overall feelings?
It was hard to begin with because being full-time RVers, we had to keep finding locations that we could fly. Nothing was consistent. You don't know what every airport we showed up at was different. And so it wasn't until we actually got to Salton Sea fly-in that I really built a confidence, because that was where I just did touch and go. That was the first time I ever did touch and goes because the wind was good enough, and I was just able to do them over and over and over and over. And by time we left Salton Sea, that was when I really felt like, okay, now my confidence is up. Now I feel like I can, I just had so much more experience practicing spot landings, practicing all those things that I was always so fearful of. After Salton Sea, I really felt, much more confident. We stayed, and I didn't do any of this at Salton Sea. I did it after everybody left, and the beach was empty, and then I just practiced.
Yeah, I got there super early. I didn't bump into you, did I?
No, I saw you fly by one time in your outfit.
With Dimitri. Yeah.
So, but no, I don't think we did bump into each other, but yeah. So for me, it was just being there with that great wind, the consistent wind, and then I was just able to just practice and practice. So. Yeah,
the wind there is pretty fantastic.
Yeah. So now in general, I'm just much more confident. I don't have as fear of I've had 2 engine outs, and so I was always one was at practice and one as I was coming down for a landing. So I was always very fearful of what would happen if I'm just up in the middle of nowhere and I get an engine out, and now I feel a little more confident. I've been I feel more confident practicing all that and doing all that. So I just in general, my confidence level is going up and up and up, and I'm enjoying. I enjoy flying. Although I do laugh that if my husband said tomorrow, I don't want to fly anymore, I'd be like, okay, let's sell everything.
So Susan Ray, she asks, what were Karen's top 5 hardest things to get rid of in order to RV full time?
Funny question, Susan. Hardest things. Steve just walked in. Come on over. What
you gotta get him on video. You gotta get him on video.
Yep, here he comes. Hardest
Hello.
things to get rid of. I don't know. We had prepared for full-time RVing for so long that mentally we were already getting rid of everything in our minds of what we wouldn't need. And we took with us everything we wanted. My sunroom. That's the one. That's the one thing I couldn't take with me.
And for me, it was a set of tools. I had a lot of additional tools that we couldn't take with, so I had to leave those behind.
Yeah. But we take, anything we really wanted is with us.
Our neighbors and friends, from where we were hard to just kind of take off.
And my rock climbing gym. That's the other thing I miss the most, is being able to climb with my group of friends over, multiple times a week. So I'd say those are the things that just in general is the hardest things that we get. Physical things weren't really as big for us, as big of a deal.
Right. So. It was easy to get rid of the lawnmower, easy to get rid of the snow shovel. All those things are really easy.
Man, the YouTube audio mix on his voice is like perfect.
I know, he's like
bass voice
radio,
just warm and resonating.
He did do radio when he was 16. He was in a radio studio.
WYCA FM 93.5 FM.
So, Angela,
somebody said something at the beginning here before.
How did you two decide to live on the road?
So how? Well, back in 2011, Karen went through some medical stuff, and we kind of reset our long-term plans. Was like, keep working until I was 65, and then risk maybe health not being there to be able to enjoy it. So I started looking for things to do, adventurous things to do. We love to travel, so I was trying to figure that out, and I came up with the idea through watching some YouTube videos of other couples that were full-time RVers. And I showed Karen, was this something you'd ever do? And she's like, oh, I don't know about that.
I wasn't on board right away of selling everything and moving into the RV.
But we rented an RV in 2015 and spent a month with our 3 boys going up to Alaska. And it was great. We really enjoyed it. And that
you seem like you have like really good persuasive skills.
Yeah. Come on, huh? Yeah.
Well, it was me that wanted to drive to Alaska. So he decided, hey, let's rent the RV and give this a whirl. So we actually, for 30 days, we left Chicago, went to Alaska and back. And it was a trip of a lifetime.
8,400 miles.
Yeah.
In 1 days.
But I would say by like the first few days of that trip, it was like, oh yeah, I could live this way. This is awesome. And so that was it for me. And then from that point on, it was just trying to figure out how
when and
yeah.
how.
Well, and we still had I guess he would have been about 15. Yeah, he would have been a 15-year-old. So, we obviously couldn't leave him behind. And so, or it was been difficult to take him, on full time at that point. So we had to wait for him. Once he already knew where he was going to go at 18. So it was easy enough for us as he approached 18 to start really considering moving into the RV and what it took. So, but mentally we had started way back, he had started, he'd been thinking about it for, 8 to 9 years prior.
I see Angela's question. Angela Presick asked, so do you work on the road? So for the first 2 years, I was able to work full-time remote. We had good internet connections because Karen always kind of made sure that's where we were traveling to. And I worked full-time. I worked in the computer technology area, and so it was easy to take it remote. This is before COVID. And then in the beginning of 2021, I retired and have been now, because she was having too much fun. She retired to go on the road.
I couldn't take my job on the road, so I retired.
I was working and she was having all this fun, and I'm going, hey, wait a minute, let's accelerate this. And then I retired.
So, yep. So it looks like Jason asked a question about the brand of wing and size. I fly a Spider 3. We both fly Spider 3s. I fly a 24 meter. Steve flies a 28 meter.
On Fly Products.
Yep. I told him about the Rider.
Okay, the Riders, yeah.
And and he has a Moster 185, and I have the Atom 80. Mm-hmm. So, which Aviator structure gave you and your husband your tandem ride? Mike Brown. Huh? We did not have Mike. We had AJ. Yep. Right? Yeah, AJ gave ours, and Dave Nickerson was my awesome instructor. He did a fantastic job. So
tell us a little bit about your rock climbing history, how you got into that.
That would have been my middle son. He started at school in like a climbing club, and he really got into it. And he so much so that he wanted to take us climbing. So we went outside, and as soon as I did it one day, I started doing it, and I'm thinking, why am I paying for him to be an adult at the climbing gym? I could totally be the adult, and he can be the child, right? And so I immediately got home, went home, signed myself up, and met a crazy group of gals who climbed weekly. And from that point on, they had a
great gals group name. It was Girls Against Gravity.
Mm-hmm. Gals Against Gravity.
Gals Against Gravity.
Yeah, Gals Against Gravity. And, it kind of found my tribe then, the group of gals that just, every week, just we nobody'd miss. We'd always be there week after week after week. At least 1 or 2 times a week we'd get together and climb. So
That's neat.
so, and then my
So
son and I
what
also still climb.
What other types of hobbies do you have, both of you?
Both of us. We hike. Well, I like to hike more than Steve, but he goes with me.
we got e-bikes, so we go on bike rides. We have inflatable kayaks, so we go kayaking,
Now paramotoring, and
scuba diving.
Scuba
We also
diving.
scuba dive.
Yeah.
How do I get that sort of relationship?
Pickleball.
But speaking with, how long have you guys been married?
32 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
I got to tell you though,
Oh,
these
this is
two
radio.
people are amazing. I mean, we've met Karen and Steve through some of the shows in the past, and usually it's been Karen that kind of sits in, and Steve just sits in the background because he acts like Randy and wants to stay out of it. And he stays up late with us, and I thought she was a quiet kind of gal. She came here and she is a monster. She is athlete. She is like Rachel Blocker, and it's like put those two in a ring and they'll giggle and laugh and have so much fun. And I mean, you guys are amazing. I mean, you are so good together, and yeah.
Mhm.
So
fortunate.
great couple.
With you guys able to have that kind of freedom, have you ever thought about free flight?
Well,
Free flight. What's that mean?
Just paragliding without the motor.
Oh, without the motor. No, I don't have an interest. That would mean I'd have to spot land every time, and no.
Depends where you are.
so I really do prefer to have the elevator button with me all the time, so I can always recover from any situation. And
Although
and go.
kiteboarding, Jade mentioned that, and that got because we saw that when we were in the Keys in 2020, and I was like, wow, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Kiteboarding would be wild.
Yeah.
It's
So-
fun until they tell me they're sharks.
Oh, you just glide over them, right? It'll be fine.
And then I can't hear my instructor anymore, and that's when I freaked out.
You're gonna need a bigger kite.
Angela says, do you plan LZ to LZ, or do you plan your next play where you're going, or you just go LZ to LZ?
Oh, we plan our travels. We're kind of the wing it kind of couple. We're fairly flexible. We don't really have reservations, going forward at this point. We're heading, we'll just head north and hope for the best. So what I will do is when we're starting to look at where, usually when we get to one place, I'll start looking forward to the next place. And at that point, I will start looking around to see if there are any airports in the area. A lot of times I'm on, if I know we're going to a state, I'll get on the Facebook groups for those areas and ask people where LZs are. So that way, as we're kind of looking forward, I can see if there's an LZ along somewhere that I want to, that we can stop at. Nice background there. Jade.
Well, Jason said
We
he
don't have
feels
time
like
for
he's
this
watching the
cheeky
Brady
shenanigans.
Bunch. Jason, that's my kid's name, Brady.
So there's something that people don't realize about full-time RVing is you do kind of have to have one of the people, if it's a couple, one of the two people at least, that are interested in planning
Travel planning.
and looking at, it could be when I try to do it, I have occasionally tried to plan something out. It wears me out because of all the decision fatigue. Well, we could do it this way or this way or this way. And it's kind of exhausting. I think she enjoys it. And so she really tries to figure everything out, drops pins on Google Maps of interesting things. So whenever we get back to that area, she doesn't have to do the original research again. So it's a talent or an interest to do it well. And she does. She takes all that stuff. Can she rock climb? Can we paramotor?
Biking,
bike
hiking,
trails, rails to trails to do? Is there places to kayak? That's all part of the planning. It takes a lot of time, but it's.
And you play pickleball.
And we,
Now that's our new one.
Pickleball. That's
Yeah,
fun.
we started that. Well, we started about almost like a year, 8 months ago, 9 months ago now.
Pickleball is a
I'll
blast.
play pickleball.
Yeah. I'm trying to get Jade and Dweez into it.
And actually, so how do we find these things? Well, pickleball, there's apps for it that'll tell you about where open play is. there's rails to trails to tell you about where e-bike rides are, and then
there's Facebook groups to tell us where the launch zones are, or that's just using SkyVector or whatever to find airports.
We've had good luck with private airports and municipal airports, just calling up the airport manager and saying, hey, we'd like to come fly. What are the rules around your airport? Sorry. Mm-hmm. And that's worked out fairly well. We've only been turned away a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Is that my ride out there?
Oh, yeah, Dweez. Dweez is flying tonight.
I'm flying tonight.
We're all here to Dweez fly. So it looks like Angela wants to know about the fly-in. It was awesome, Angela.
Yes,
we had a lot of campers. What do we have, Jade? How many campers did we end up with? 15, 20?
I think there was about 20 campers,
Mm-hmm.
give or take a few, and then we had 16 registered pilots, and that was perfect for us.
Yeah, it was.
So,
it was for someone like you too. Yeah, the confidence of not having so many. Like when I was at Salton Sea, there were just so many people in the air. I haven't been to Bad Apples, but I assume it's probably similar. But here it was great because even though there were people flying the LZ and whatnot, you still could. It wasn't so busy that you couldn't get in for a landing in a fairly reasonable amount of time. And
people weren't showboating in front of the landing zone, so you could get in and out without feeling like you're a little at risk.
So it was great. The weather held up. We were able to fly. I think everything but Sunday morning, right? I mean,
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Montana, he still didn't believe the app, so he went up and he came right back down.
Yeah, it was pretty windy. I had my first face plant, so that was good. That was on launch.
I almost had it on camera.
You didn't get me.
It was and then Steve ran over and he had her on chatting with her, and then all of a sudden he started busted out laughing, and then she comes up, she's laughing, and I was like, okay, I can take a picture now.
Launch. I was struggling to get the wing past the power band, so I started to try to give myself a little power to get moving. Unfortunately, I was not facing upright. I was facing downward, and I knew I'm tripping into the ground.
Drove herself into the ground.
It was pretty funny.
A power face plant.
Rachel wants to know if there were mosquitoes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I'm still itching.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or horse flies.
Yeah, there were mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
But there were mosquito spray.
Yeah.
What were some of your best flights that you've had to date, like locations or just in general experiences that you've had?
I like flying near water. So this here Tomahawk was beautiful up by I love to fly and just look at the views of and here it was the river, Wisconsin River. Is that what the system is? We've flown down by Panama City Beach. That was amazing. Finger Lakes. We were up by Finger Lakes. That was a really good one in New York.
Salton Sea
was pretty cool.
And I love the water, the beach there, for the smooth air, and then in the early morning and late evening canyon flying was just amazing. I've never done that before, and that was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to do that this year too, and that was like one of my best.
Yeah. Amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, those were some pretty flights there in the Salton Sea. So we also got to fly down by San Felipe, Mexico, and that was pretty. We were right on the waterfront there in San Felipe. It's on the Baja, so we were on the Sea of Cortez, I think that is. So that was cool. So yeah.
Do you have a wish list of what you'd like to do next?
Flight wise?
Yeah.
I just want to get some more water, and I need to practice my kiting. So I want to get to some laminar winds. So I think we're going to go to Galveston in November, and I'm hoping that will be some decent flying weather.
I might see you down there then.
Oh yeah.
I am planning on trying to do the same thing.
For some of November, the whole month of November. What's your thought?
After Thanksgiving, I want to go down to Galveston for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we should be in the area.
We'll be there till December 7th.
We're not committed to anything, but that's the tentative plan.
You're going to be committed to me. I'll let you know.
You're moving into our RV with us, are you?
We'll sleep on the couch. Okay, I'm a neat freak.
Where our guests
I like
sleep. That's about all the room we have.
Just make sure he's wearing his paramotor girl attire. All right. Deweese, you want to ask Angela's question?
Angela says she's got a very important question. Are Karen and Steve Bears fans?
Yeah, once a Bears fan, once you have your team, it's your team, so yeah, I guess we are.
Yeah, it's hard on the road to be able to watch the games because, I don't have Bears TV, wherever we are. So it's hard to see them. So I've kind of lost touch a little bit with the team since we've been gone. But yeah, I that doesn't mean I'm a fan of any other team any better. So I guess I'm still a Bears fan.
The only thing Bear respects is another Bear.
All right.
Oh, any scary flights or malfunctions?
Yeah, me. Malfunctions. I did it actually in training. I had that Adam 80 carb issue on the older Adam 80s that the school was using for training. So I got up to about, 40 or 50 feet, and my idle just kind of went and stopped. It stopped giving me any thrust power. So basically, Dave in my ear is just like, "Okay, you're coming down. Hit the kill switch." So I'm like, "Okay, I'm coming down." So that one wasn't too bad because I was right there and I had somebody in my ear to deal with it. The biggest one though I had was we were trying. So the elevation thing is a problem for me because I don't get the lift with that Adam 80. So we were trying to fly up by Glacier National Park area. So we were up in Montana and it was about 3,000 feet elevation. It was like the lowest place we could find in that whole area to fly. So unfortunately, it was a completely no-win day, and we were struggling to get going. And I got going, and I was like barely like 10 feet. It didn't seem like I was getting any lift at all, and there was this big bush coming. And again, I was still fairly newer, so I didn't quite have that whole, I could actually, once I'm off the ground, steer thing. I'm just like, going straight. And there's this big bush in front of me. So I made the decision to turn left, which probably should have gone the other way, but I didn't. And there was two trees, there was like a break in the trees that I thought, okay, I can get through there. So I started heading that way, and now I'm maybe somewhere between 10 and 15 feet off the ground. And as I was going that way, I was crossing over some railroad tracks where I then looked down and see the light of a train, right, coming. I didn't realize it, but the train was parked. I thought it was coming at me, and now I'm really freaking out. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, this train, I'm like right at train level here. And so I didn't, then because I'm freaking out, I didn't quite clear the trees, and I picked up some leaves and branches.
She had leaves in
my cage and in my oyster. Thank goodness I didn't get caught in a tree, and finally did make it up into the sky.
So I'm on the ground. We've got communication supposedly don't work too well. I'm on the ground. She goes behind the tree, behind the bush, then she disappears. And I couldn't see her. And
and all he heard in his ears was,
so I'm taking off all my stuff, oh no,
running to go see what happened to me.
Where'd she go? And then she popped out.
Because he thought I had it right for the trees. He didn't know there was the break in the trees.
I thought she was for sure stuck in the trees.
I didn't fly after that for a long time. Mainly because we were in elevation, and I was, so afraid to fly in anything at elevation again. So I don't know.
Since then, we've gotten a 3-blade E-prop to give her just a little bit more thrust, a new throttle to try and give her a little more comfort with.
I got the off-grid now. I think also to just understanding more of how strong winds help my lift and stuff. Now when I'm in elevation, if I just choose a windy day, it'll be much better for me than a no-wind day in high elevation. So
I always like days that start off with some wind and then smooth off.
Right.
I don't care if it's bumpy the first half hour, as long as it's smooth
off. You're in the air then.
I can kite at least then. When there's wind, I can get the kite up at least, and then I can get some. Mm-hmm.
So Steve, no malfunctions or anything scary for you?
Nothing scary. No.
Malfunction. What he did have, it was early on again. It was like, just a couple of months after training. We laid out our wings in a field that had kind of long stick things like left over from
kind of sticky bushes, but
Yeah.
they're shorter, 6 inches tall. And as I took off, I think I got some lines caught, and it got caught around the prop, pulled the lines, and bent the cage.
the whole thing buckled
screwed
in.
up,
And
yeah, so I screwed up my cage. So that's not really a malfunction. It's more of a pilot error, taking off in the wrong place without clearing line, sort of situation. But so, yeah, that's happened.
he's never had any scary flights, though.
No.
Not like me.
Fortunately. Yeah.
Were you worried about, okay, who is this? Matt Sloper. Were you worried about going to Mexico with your RV and PPG gear? I hear some countries charge a fee. Yes, we were very worried. I was on whatever Facebook groups I could ask, asking folks, what their experience was. We did get a lot of feedback saying that people had gotten charged. But then when we went with actually an RV group, because we didn't really know what it was like to cross the border. So our first time over, we kind of wanted to go with an RV group. So there were like 50 of us. So they kind of were the ones like, I've seen people bring over lots of toys and never did they ever stop us. So we decided, because we always break down our paramotors all the way down to the motor, right? Because that's the only way we travel them in the back of an F-150 pickup with a cat topper. So we just kind of rearranged the back so that they were just in the back, and we weren't really purposely trying to hide them. We just threw a whole bunch of stuff kind of back there on top of them. They kind of looked like generators, or they didn't really, you wouldn't know what it was necessarily. And then we stuck our big e-bikes, our folding e-bikes right behind them. And the guy, because we were there with a group of 50 RVs, and the mayor of the town was there to greet us. And, it was kind of more of a cursory, just pass these people through type of thing. They did come through. They did open our back. They looked at the bikes, asked questions about the bikes. He just kind of looked around the rest of it and then walked away. Never asked us anything more. So,
we're never stopped at a checkpoint. There are military checkpoints as you're driving along Mexican highways. And when we did stop, there was no problem, just go on through, so they didn't stop us. They could, of course. And if you're by yourself, if you leave your paramotor out in the back of the visible of your truck, it's going to be more obvious that there's something there that they might ask questions about. So your mileage may vary. For us, it was no problem at all.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
How far
I don't know.
did you go?
Yeah. I'm sorry, what?
How far did you go across the border?
About 2 hours to San Felipe.
Okay.
It's on Baja. It's all very safe. We were walking around San Felipe at 10 o'clock at night.
It was great.
Completely,
Really nice.
it was very safe. Very, yeah. I mean, the
A
Baja
lot
is
of
very
expats
nice.
from the U.S. live down there too, have winter homes down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Jason's got a question. Have you ever tried a Moster 185?
me, yeah. So they wanted me to try. Steve wanted me to really consider the Moster 185 because of the elevation flying and knowing we'd be in the West. Unfortunately, in training, when I was going to try it, I was mentally like, I just like this Atom 80. I'm just comfortable. I don't want to switch type of mentality. So it was just fail from start to finish. I didn't even get up in the skies. I couldn't even kite. It was just, so, in the end, we just realized this is just, if I'm going to be comfortable, we needed to just do the Atom 80.
And we fly with what it can do. We stay within its capabilities.
I've considered trying Steve's, but we'd have to change his hang points and all that. So it's kind of like, we're not really seriously considering swapping it out at this point. So maybe in the future. I mean, now that I'm so much more confident, and to be honest though, even he can't start that Moster 185 sometimes. And I like my Atom 80 that I can throw it on my back. It's, I can pull start it. I can, I just feel more confident that if my motor went out in the air, I could pull start it again. And I just don't think I'd have that confidence with the Moster 185. So
I'm going to go try one out here pretty soon, Atom 80, because I threw one on my back the other day and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So what?
Right? We should swap motors.
He won't get off the ground at all.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Well, maybe with your wing. Maybe.
I don't always need a lot of rocket up, but I did want to bring up somebody mentioned a comment at the beginning, Aaron I. He said that when you guys pre-flight your motors, you guys will actually then pre-flight each other's motors just in case. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. We do. Just so that we can easily, I have the bad habit of actually, when I fill gas, leaving the gas cap off. And so she looked, she remembers to look for that. And I think you've caught it once, at least once, that I've left it, so.
Yeah, and just because we completely break down every time, it's, I mean, we've got to put together our entire cage, our prop. There's been a couple times that he's put the prop on backwards. If he actually, I didn't pre-flight his once, and the prop fell off because he didn't have the screws in the right place, and
it's a mess.
So I think we just kind of got into the habit that it's probably a good idea for us to just, once ours are, we completely kind of put our own together, and then it's kind of like, all right, check yours out while I check, I'll check each other's out and make sure that we just didn't miss anything, because there's just, a lot of pieces to get.
And another thing that's easy to do is get your harness a little bit, the buckles, wrapped around the wrong direction of things. And so I always go through hers to make sure it's untangled, because I hate it when I realize I'm not quite set right in my harness because something's twisted over.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's worked out well. It only takes a couple minutes.
Yeah. So
Gladys wants to know how long you've been flying.
Well, we trained in March of 2021. So since then, and we kind of flew consistently until July of 2021. Then we probably took a good 4-month break because I tried that flight and I did it, but then we didn't fly again until I think it was September that we got into Utah, and we were down in St. George and got into like more of 1,000-foot, 1,200-foot elevation, and then it was like, all right, now I'll do it again. So
going back to the Mexico trip, Susan wants to know if you did the midnight flight.
No, we used the same U.S. rules, so we did the same, no flying after.
We didn't actually know the rules in Mexico. We weren't sure it was even legal, but we were kind of, we tried to ask around. We didn't ask in San Felipe. But there was a guy flying, like he was trying to give rides in his ultralight type of.
He had
like a powered parachute.
Yeah, like a powered parachute. Well, it wasn't a powered parachute. It was a power paraglider.
Whatever.
What do you call those?
Whatever. Yeah.
It's the triangle wing, whatever those are called.
But and we had seen there were some schools, but we had heard it was actually not legal to fly in Mexico. And then I'd heard other conflicting things like, they wanted your certifications. And so we just kind of tried to keep it down on the low. We only went up a couple times and didn't try to, we weren't I don't showboat anyway. I go really high and stay really high and nobody really sees me anyway. So.
But it was nice beach takeoffs and landings.
So Tony out in Vegas wants to know, this is Tony and Angela, do you guys have a YouTube channel?
Well, kind of. I don't keep it up anymore. We did it years ago when we first went on the road so we could put up videos for my father-in-law, but nobody was really watching them and it was a lot of work, so we kind of stopped doing it. But we do have a Facebook group, and they're both called Home Wherever We Roam. So we have a Facebook page that's kind of our travel log, and that's kind of where we post up what we're doing and that kind of stuff. And so.
Mad Sloper out in Vegas also is asking, have you guys thought about getting into paragliding? Oh, he's not asking me, he's asking you.
So yeah, paragliding, no, it's at least not at this point in time. I think we prefer having the engine.
Yeah, that whole spot landing thing kind of makes me nervous. So, yeah.
We're pretty conservative when it comes to flying.
Okay. Just trying to go through. Steve, do you see any other questions I might have missed? Sorry, Aaron, I missed yours in the beginning there.
No, it's just interesting about the paragliding and spot landing. So I've got a huge interest in eventually paragliding. But again, I have that same thing about spot landing and not wanting to land in a tree and whatnot.
Right. Exactly.
And so I started practicing high up spot landings. But even when I'm doing cross countries, I'll fly like 2,000 feet. Just in the instance I have a motor out, so I have plenty of time to decide of where am I going to shoot for, how am I going to plan for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, us too, for sure. That's how we fly, Steve. Yeah, I don't.
But I've heard from a lot of people though that paragliding changes you, like because it's totally different. You look for thermals, and And
Right.
you look at the airway different. You're not just going in, calm. I'm interested in it. I eventually want to do it, but it's probably going to be a couple of years.
Yeah, I'm not going to say no, but at this point, we're happy doing the flying we're doing.
I'll try anything 5 times.
It's also kind of scary just jumping off a mountain without, a motor on your back, not knowing whether the air is going to catch you or not. Really, I mean, it's kind of I don't know. Where were we? We were in Lima, Peru, and there was a whole area where they just they were taking people up and they literally just jumped off the side of the mountain and
they would fly back and forth and then land back at the same spot. It was amazing.
It was amazing. And you'd see them go down and then the lift would pull them back up. And I was thinking, man, it takes a lot of guts.
That was before we started paramotoring, but yeah.
But they would take a lot of guts to do the first time, right? I mean, you've never done that before. Like, okay, I'm jumping off.
It's so weird. Like we paramotor and then it's like, oh wait, no, that's scary.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're already on bed sheets and strings.
Our middle son skydives, and so he's doing all kinds of acrobatics in the air and stuff like that. And that doesn't appeal to me. I like the kind of flying we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, isn't it? Yeah, you're in your own comfort zone.
Yeah. So
Do you fly with a reserve?
I just added my reserve again because of that whole thrust thing. Was holding off on the weight issues, but lately I've been watching the paramotor groups and people talking about it, and I always had one. I just never put it on. So just right before this flying, I added it, and it turns out it was not a big deal. I don't even feel it. It's just another pre-flight thing now for me, and I don't even know it's there, so it's good.
And I do not yet. I probably should. I just haven't got one and haven't put it on.
And it looks like someone's asking about the water
You're
floats.
right.
We do have power floats, and we do use them when we didn't use them here by the river. I never got close enough to worry about it, but if we're doing like beach flying and stuff like that, we'll definitely put on the power floats. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I just eat a bunch of fiber because it makes me really gassy, so I know I'll be buoyant.
Yeah. Mad Sloper, I know what you're saying with PPG being a blender. When I was 15 years old, I soloed in fixed wing gliders with the Civil Air Patrol. So I know what it means to glide and fly in really cool circumstances like that. Just haven't got there. We aren't in the mountains enough yet to really consider it too much.
So Karen, I haven't seen your crazy son in here yet asking some questions, but Tony's asking if you've ever been at a drop zone and flown with with your son.
No, because he just he just got his he got it in Las Vegas, which I think is where Tony is, just north of it, I think in Mesquite. He did his certification there. So we had already started heading east when he was doing that, and we actually haven't seen him since Christmas because he stayed west. And you'd think we were both full-time RVers. He's a full-time RVer too. You'd think we'd see each other more, and it's actually we're on the opposite sides of the country right now. So we have not actually even met up with him since he started skydiving. So
he kept asking me, Dad, you got to do tandems, and I want to jump off the front.
So he's like, so grab me to your front and then take me up 5,000 feet so I can jump off.
No.
We were listening to Priscilla last week though, and I'm sure I was thinking of him like, oh yeah, right. So maybe we
hook up with those two.
There you go.
So I got a question for you, Karen. So I was talking to Jade before the show, and she was just mentioning like you're just you seem like a high energy person in general. Like you're always active. Like if you're not doing like P90X, playing pickleball, doing paramotor, like you're just at it. And it's something that I wish I could get back into. Like, have you always been that way? What's your driving factor?
I did do a lot of sports and stuff. I was a tomboy for sure. Did a lot of sports as a kid. Took a break from all of that as I was raising my kids. And then, as Steve mentioned earlier, when I had my health issues back in I had lymphoma and I had to go through chemo. And after I got done with that, I was kind of like this determination that I'm going to be stronger now than I ever was. And from that point on, I just kind of started working out. And then once I started rock climbing, I don't know if she's watching, but I have a crazy friend who works out just as much as me. So we kind of just keep each other going. And so we are just, we're very high energy. And yeah, so.
Nice.
So
Jade,
what
you're going to be my buddy. You're going to be my accountability buddy.
Look at our calendar, Steve. Every morning we get up, we do the same workout calendar. You know, we're doing the same workout every day. You can do it too. And the rule is if you miss, you have to do it the next day with the next one. So you have to do two
Double.
the next day. So that makes it so you really don't want to miss it.
Yeah, if you watch her, you do not want to do them twice.
One day.
Heard about that.
But hey, I mean, I feel, and to me, I do like just, I also like just always feeling strong, knowing that if, you know, I can haul the 50-pound motor on my back, I can lift it, I can do it all myself, I don't need help. And, you know, I want to know I can just, you know, do that at any point, or go for that long hike, or go for that long bike ride, or kayak, or, you know, rock climb. I love to rock climb. So I always like to be confident and strong for that. So.
But Steve, it's annoying, right? We go on these e-bike rides, and my battery's like dead, and she's like, you know, down 20%. I'm like, oh, come on.
And pickleball, Steve's like, I'm done. And she's like, come on, Steve, let's play another game. And he's like, oh.
No, I liked hearing that portion of the story because, like, I've had moments in my life where, like, I'm just a ball of energy. But when I got into this, I was mentally the weakest and physically the weakest. And I'm still, like, powering through it. And so to see someone, like, just driving after things is pretty cool.
She's like the Energizer Bunny.
We've talked about that many times. Yeah.
What drugs you taking? You tell me. Be honest.
You should see the green slime she eats every day.
Wait, this is for horses. No.
Tony says this is the only Karen that rocks.
Oh,
Thanks, Tony. I'm looking forward to getting to that Jean, Nevada, and meeting you guys. I'm hearing there's some boondocking and flying there that we can do there.
They will hook you up. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So Mad Sloper's asking, where are you headed now?
Well, just briefly, we're going to go up a couple hours north from here in Tomahawk. We're going to Apostle Island National Lakeshore. Mostly, we're just kind of lingering around here because we're going to go to the EA Oshkosh Air Show.
So you're only going to be away from me for about a week.
Yeah. We really didn't want to leave the lair, so we said, oh, we got to come back. And so we're going up. I guess it'll just be a week because then we're coming back the following week to go to Oshkosh with the lairs. And we've never been. So when we decided to come up for, when they announced the Tomahawk fly-in, we said, hey, here's an opportunity to be able to do both the fly-in and the air show. So we kind of signed up for both. So
yeah, I'll see you there. Nice.
All right.
Awesome. Great.
So do you plan on flying in every state? Have you thought about that?
It wasn't like necessarily a goal. I do keep a Google map. Like I have a map of with a pin of every place we've flown. So we'll see if it becomes that. And probably once most of the states get filled in, we'll probably be like, oh, hey, we might as well finish filling in the rest of them. So, I mean, basically, I want to fly to keep my confidence level up. I like to fly every 1 to 2 weeks, right? So that just puts us in every state, wherever we're at the time we're trying to fly. So as we do have a goal to get to all the states. So, hopefully what'll come along with it is the flying the paramotors in every state. So
Tony, Angela, and Mad Sloper are basically begging you to come out. Mad Sloper's got the new E machine, and Tony,
that.
Oh, the
oh my God!
Oh gosh!
Oh
really
man!
cool.
Steve's okay. When are we going to Las Vegas?
You should see the batteries.
Vegas is perfect time of year.
Yep, and then October is good for you guys out there. Yeah, it's horrible out there now. We left just in time during spring break.
Okay.
Let's see. What are the best suggestions for someone who wants to start the RV life?
You know what? Don't listen to people when they tell you what RV you need. You got to figure out on your own the best RV that will work for your type of travel. You know what? And not everybody does it like us, right? I mean, there's full timing, there's part timing, there's, go out for a week at a time, go out for a month at a time, go out for, half the year at a time. But, try to figure out what you like best and figure out how to travel that and start with something and then build to it. So I guess that's what I'd have to say. I talked to a lot of people that have told me, oh, somebody told me I had to get this, or, this type, or, that this is the right type, and there's no right type for anybody. You got to figure out what works for you.
I know Deweese has been trying to convince Randy this entire week and a half, 2 weeks that you've been here, especially after meeting you guys, about getting into that. And I told her, I said, being down in Mississippi where it's super hot right now, come north,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can maybe come see them when it's colder.
Yeah.
You hear that, Randy?
We
Yes.
call it casing the 70s, trying to get 70 degrees, whether it's north, south, or lower elevation or upper elevation, trying to stay in it. We lived our whole lives in Chicago in cold winters, and so it's nice not to try and avoid that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Steve
Clark
Clark
Video.
is saying,
Go ahead.
really nice meeting you this past week. He's the one that had the hawk.
Oh I remember.
Yeah.
Steve,
That was
you
really cool.
showed up late. You're going to have to watch the intro. I had you in the intro with Maverick.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, we set a fly in and he brought a bird.
A cool hawk.
About a hawk. That was pretty cool.
Right.
That was
It
cool.
was definitely cool.
So, I see Matt Sloper has do we miss having a permanent home to come home to? No, not at all. Chicago was nice, but we knew long-term we did not want to stay in Chicago. So it was really easy for us to just sell everything. All our kids left Chicago. Now we still have family there. So we are in and out of Chicago seeing family. But no, I mean, we miss our friends. We miss our neighbors. I miss my rock climbing gym. But for the most part, we really enjoy the mobile home. In fact, we slowed down our travels a little while just this past couple months due to two things, gas, and we were kind of lingering around waiting for a friend to help her with something. And we were bored to tears not moving. So we both kind of looked at each other and said, well, if gas prices like really went sky high, or like we ran out of gas, would we really be able to just sit still? What would we do? So
We've gotten antsy.
yeah, we've kind of gotten a little used to this constant movement life. So no, don't miss it at all. So we have no end date at all.
I'm sure at some point we will, but it'll be a long time.
So I got two questions for you. One, can Steve occasionally read bedtime stories for me, because his voice is and the other thing is, I think it's amazing. I always love this stuff. You guys have been together for so long, and now just adventuring and doing stuff that makes you happy. What's the secret sauce to find it and keep it going? And
Oh boy.
I gotta know.
all right, hang on 1 second.
Okay. Deweese,
She's
you
going
going
out for her flight.
Oh, we'll be out there in a minute to watch you launch.
What's the secret sauce, Steve?
Um,
I'm going to make him answer this one.
Yeah, you're gonna need to talk to me.
So I think it's being a little bit flexible. She agreed to do this paramotor thing, not because it was an interest of hers. It was an interest of mine. So putting yourself out so that the other person had something that they enjoyed doing seems to work for us. I do the same thing for her. We do a little bit of rock climbing and some longer hikes that I might like to do, but I do them anyways.
I got canyoneering. That was not a thrilling experience.
So canyoneering is rappelling and jumping into water and swimming through. It was crazy jumping into freezing cold water. But she wanted to do it. I did it. Next time I'll bring a wetsuit.
So we both kind of go along with each other. We're not always happy with it, but I think once you start doing it, and I'm always open to a new experience for whatever it is, and obviously that's why I'm flying. I'm willing to try a lot. I won't jump out of a plane and do skydiving because I really don't like free falling. But I mean, there's so much. I didn't really want to scuba dive, but because I thought I was afraid of fish, but turns out it wasn't so bad. It was easy. Now, I've been diving for years and I got hundreds of dives, so 100 dives.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think for us, it's just keep trying and do new things and see what works for both of us.
Conquering
That's awesome.
fear.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, you guys are, like Angela said, an inspiration. And I know, Karen, you and I, what, Steve? What were you going to say?
Make them uncomfortable.
Yeah. We just live life.
Yeah.
And that's really the secret. We're really trying to live life, not let life go by.
Right.
Right. You guys are definitely inspiration to a lot of us. I'm certain of that. We're jealous. So I do want to
When
say
I'm
hi
not
to
flying, I
everybody.
just drink and smoke. So you like blow me out of the water.
I do want to say hi to everybody. Sean Nafsker, thanks for joining. Linda, Angela, Aaron. Let's see. Tony and Mad Sloper. Gladys from Aviator. Linda, Paramom. Steve, Clark's Video. Thank you again he's
Linda.
sitting in the Menards parking lot right now. Let's see. Who else we got in here? We had Chris Gwynn in here and probably Kristen. Hi, guys. And Will and John Wayne actually made it. And Jason. Thank you guys all for coming on tonight and hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Yeah, this couple is pretty awesome. We've had them here. When did you get here? Thursday? Wednesday?
Thursday. Yeah.
Thursday, the day we moved all the campers over to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sad to say that they're going to be leaving tomorrow, but happy to say that we'll probably reunite in another week.
I think we can't be next to each other, so you're not getting rid of us.
I am up for adoption. Saying.
Angela's asking where Eric is. Eric is actually out working with Deweese. They think that they're going to try to sneak off and tomorrow also, but we keep trying to come up with every excuse to keep them. We're trying to adopt them and keep them here, but Deweese has got an appointment on Monday. She has to go back. So we got her up on Saturday evening. She was the last flyer to go up. She flew Eric's trike, Eric's wing, just the single trike. But the only bad thing was she's normally with a right-handed throttle. She now had to go to a left-handed. So that kind of, besides freaking out, thinking she's going to crash Eric's equipment, she was dealing with a left-handed throttle. So she was pretty nervous about it, but she did awesome. And then she came down and she did a touch and go twice, but I thought she was doing it on purpose. And then she's like, I was too scared to come down. I thought I was going to crash. So she took off again, came right back round again, went up high, came back down, and she landed. And I got it on video. I got a little bit. The outro's got Deweese's takeoff. There's Eric. He's in the comments. Just wanted to pop in and say hi. Just got done doing 2 tandems and now working with Deweese.
He's a workhorse.
Yep.
He's a keeper.
Yep. So yeah, he's been getting a lot of contact for people going up on tandem rides. And actually the 2 younger gals that we took up this past week at the fly-in, one wants to become a pilot, and Grandpa was just in tears just about because it was the 20-year-old, and she wants to do this type of flying now. And I think she wants to she's going to school to be a pilot also. And I think Mom reached out to Northern Lights Paramotor today, and Eric was talking to her, and mom, Karen, you were talking to her, you and Susan were letting her try on your foot launch unit, right? The mom?
Could you repeat that, Jade? You just broke up.
Oh, the mom, you had the mom try on your unit.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
so
Yeah.
I think mom's kind of looking forward to possibly doing this too. Dad's a pilot, grandpa's a pilot.
Great.
So it sounds like we might have the whole darn family out here next week.
great.
That's funny. Yeah, great.
So, yeah, so Eric's starting to get some business here, and I'm still trying to learn to walk, and so I can help out a little bit in the meantime, and I'll be working towards my instructor tandem rating eventually. So,
I'm
that's
still
all.
being potty trained, so it is what it is.
Tony says maybe he can afford his own razor. Yeah, well, that's because we went out there and Eric had shaggy hair and we stole Tony's hair clipper to cut Eric's hair. And Tony's still upset. It was a brand new hair clipper.
So if you guys are ever in Nebraska, you need to hit me up.
In Nebraska. Okay. We're in Nebraska.
So I'm in Lincoln, but I fly with mostly with Nebraska Paramotor based out of southern Omaha. And I've flown halfway across like the US, and it's still one of the most beautiful places I've ever flown. Like there's just so much to enjoy and a huge community.
Do you fly at the Field of Dreams?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, we flew there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Once we were coming through, so we stopped there.
Yeah.
We went through we went there once.
When did you do that?
Last July, beginning of July, I think, in July 2021.
That was right before I first hooked up with them.
Okay. Yeah.
You probably just missed me because I trained somewhere else in April, and then it was later July that Nebraska Paramotor finished me up, and yeah, I love it down there.
Yeah. Nice place.
So if you guys want to stick around for a moment or two, I think Deweese was walking over to the trike, but it might take a little bit. I can walk out a little ways and maybe we can get her on hopefully a good launch.
Okay, I'm going to go see her. Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you, Steve, for joining in.
Yep.
Go get another flight in.
All right. Did you put your equipment away?
I'm going to. Yeah.
Okay. So.
All right. So Steve, make sure you get us some of your 360 bent 360 camera video out soon.
I never put out videos, so I don't know when I'm going to get around to it.
Oh.
You know me. It just sits on a hard drive.
Right. All right, I'm going to go outside and see. Oh, she's still putting on her helmet. So if you guys want to stick around for a moment or two. Randy's pacing already.
Uh-oh.
Winds have calmed down.
I'm going to go walk outside. So I guess I'll say goodbye now too.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
Thanks, Karen.
Yep. Bye.
Okay. So Tony said that Steve's going to talk about himself now.
He also said that you look like you were into karate earlier.
You're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm back again.
I also got told I looked like I was a motorcycle, and I said, no, I'm just on a bicycle and physical therapy lately, trying to get my
I
leg
can't
to
tell
go
if
around.
she's like super tall or if you're super short.
I'm a little taller than her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Louise is just still getting in, I think.
She on the back side of the...
Yeah. Is that her back there? I think that's her still standing, right?
Not behind my car. I think they're behind the trike. Dang it.
Yeah.
You go
You
get
can
her.
go over there. I think the Wi-Fi.
I'm on this one.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I can only go about this far, so we can see her the launch. I don't
You
want to
can
make her
probably
nervous.
switch to Starlink.
Jade, you need a hotspot. You need a hotspot, Jade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Switch to Starlink because Steve had Starlink working all the way out there.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna switch. Steve, stay on here, okay?
Okay.
You just sing for him or start talking to people. Oh
Yeah, that's
boy,
gonna be
guys,
amazing.
I'm leaving you with Steve, so I apologize for a moment here.
I'm gonna do my vocal warm-ups. Me, me. Bless your beautiful hide, no matter where she. Wait, this is a disaster. I don't know what's going on. So I guess I'm by myself at the moment. So while we're waiting on Jade, I had an awesome freaking flight lap. No, she's back. There you go. Thank God. I was like panicking. It's like I have to tell a story or something.
Go ahead, tell a story.
No.
Yeah, Tony, it is beautiful tonight. I wore a stupid sweatshirt and I'm dying. So I don't want to go to where Deweese will see me because I don't want to make her nervous. But she's doing awesome. And Randy is like,
Where's she at on her setup?
looking at me right now, trying not to panic. They just started. He's on the back side of Eric. Eric's in the black with the black pants and the orange. Are you able to hear me, Steve?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're breaking up a little bit, but I think you're fine now.
Okay. So the house that's over there is the airporters, and past that house along the tree line is where we camped. And this whole grass area is the grass runway. Here she goes. Oh, she's using my wing. She'll do good. Come on, girl. Cracked it.
There's a lot of power. Yep.
Come on, girl. Woohoo!
Oh man, it kept breaking up. Come on, it's driving me nuts. I'm like as frustrated now as I was in the 90s trying to watch stuff online I shouldn't have as a kid.
Bless you.
I couldn't hit the mute button fast enough. Sorry. Ugh. Somebody must be thinking about me. I better Sean ask her. He's always thinking about me.
All right, were you guys able to see her?
I mostly heard her. It sounded like she got up.
Oh yeah, she did. She even corrected the wing and everything.
Yeah, I saw it was like way off to the side at like
Yep.
one frame, and then it froze for a while. I was like, "Oh, was that going to be a kill or?" That's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. Let's see how long she stays up. I'll go over by the av gas here for a moment.
Yeah, gas your bab.
The av gas. See if we can see her up in the sky here. She's up over the tree line right now. Let's see, what are the comments? Buck moon tonight, Linda says. Tony says it looks like pavement. No, actually, that's beyond the tarmac here. It's all grass, and then the over there is the asphalt. So we got lots of grass here. Nice launch from what you saw, Gladys. Yep, she did awesome. We're just trying to get the jitterbugs out of her.
A jitterbug. A jitterbug.
Well, so on the way out here, she was looking for all the farmland area, and she was making note of all the open fields and stuff. So
To fly over.
yeah, just
Yeah.
for outs and stuff.
But
So,
once you get up, there's a whole bunch of right by the river. There's a whole bunch of farm fields right along the river, so you can actually go all the way up to the city. We flew all the way over the river the other night, and because you could go all the way up the farm fields, there is a lot of trees too, but there's enough. You get up high enough. And,
this guy right here, if you ever run into him,
Sean, I know Sean. We did kiting ground school with him.
Get some kiting.
Awesome ground school that you did, Sean. Still remembering what you taught us.
Yeah, he beat the crap out of me at Bad Apples. Like he was like all drill sergeant. He's like, "Why are you doing this? No, over here." Ah.
He wasn't
easy whatsoever.
He was nice with us.
Well, he knew me, so he's like, he could take abuse. I'm just going to yell at him.
So Tony's asking the total turnout for the fly-in. I had 16 total registered pilots, and that was just perfect for us. We went with our camper just beyond the manager's house, and then we had everybody else go beyond us. And Susan Ray was here from North Carolina. These guys were right next to us. We had a pancake breakfast right near this terminal here. Worked out good. And Angela wants to know whose trailer's in the cars. That's the first truck is Karen and Steve's. Here comes Deweese, and then Eric's work truck and our trailer, and then my car over there. So good night, Gladys. Thank you guys for all joining. Looks like Deweese is coming back. If you guys want to stick around a little bit, she's coming over the trees here.
Is this her second flight there, or has she done more?
Yep, this was her second. We're up Saturday evening. So.
Oh, my Deweezy. I'm so proud of her.
I know.
Yeah.
Randy's going to have an ulcer, but
why?
He worries about her because she's just she wants to do everything.
What's everything?
Oh, well, she's into cars and motorcycles they've gone through. He said at one point she had 8 motorcycles at the house. And then she's big into little 2-seater cars, and here she comes. She's dealing with the throttle in the opposite hand that she's used to. So, but she's doing good. It's a 28-meter Mac Para Charger.
Slow down, Deweese. I want to get there, but I want to get there alive. Yeah, Tony. Randy's more man than any of us.
It's like she's coming.
He's got to be. He's got to be.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Hang on, I'm trying to find her. Where are you, Deweese? There she is. Come on, girl. And she's really good at her landings. She doesn't think so, but I think they're going to try to talk her into doing a motor off, but bouncing around a little. She's down.
Down for the count.
Down for the count. She did good. Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
All right, guys. Looks like a great airport. It is. And I'm sorry that you guys weren't able to come. Thank you guys all for joining us tonight. And see you next week. Please
we
make
don't
sure
see you on the air. we'll see you in the air.
in the air.
Yeah.
Make sure you give us a thumbs up, and let's see. Make sure you subscribe and tell all your friends about everything and on our shows, okay? And we'll see you next week. Love you guys.
Toodles.
Stay safe.
We're